This is the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley and Kerry James.
Do a move, Kerry. You know how to do the way? Okay.
Wait a minute. There we go.
Okay. All right, don't knock any equipment over anything
or water.
Like
Right.
Could be trouble. Could be trouble. Welcome to the Grow Business Podcast. I'm Cory Mosley.
I'm Kerry James.
Yes, we're here on another glorious day to share some information to help you grow your business, some real talk, some real stories, and we want to have a couple laughs there. And I always get excited because Kerry's got double pins on the table and a highlighter.
Big fat highlighter.
Yeah, when you see Kerry with multiple, like a pin and then a backup pin and then a highlighter,
multiple colors.
If there was a pocket in that shirt, you might have a little pocket protector in there.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have a pocket protector back in the day?
I did not have a pocket protector.
In the 60s? When were you?
When were you? I was a teenager in the 60s.
Okay. The original
Wonder Years. I still wonder.
I know. Yes, working with you on a daily basis, I can
thought
tell you
like
that. For sure. We've also got William in the studio. He's here as always.
It's here for William.
Making sure this all goes well because we blame him if it doesn't. That's your tool of letting us know that you're here. Well, we appreciate you if you're listening to us on your favorite streaming service, or you're on growwithcory.com, or you're watching the video version of this. What camera are we on? On YouTube. We are happy to have you here always. So today we've got another, I think, good episode. Because this is a very targeted, because sometimes I've been known to go on a rant or two, but this is a very targeted, very specific episode content-wise.
Yes.
That's probably why Kerry's got his notes and you're gonna have to tell me what the different colors means. He's got notes. For obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see it, folks, but he's got notes in red, notes in blue, notes in green.
Yes, and a bright yellow highlighter.
And a bright.
In case there's something very important,
I haven't
need
seen anything highlighted.
Well, we haven't gotten that far in.
Okay,
But
he'll be. But I can appreciate the fact that Kerry is not only here with us, but he's also a student.
I am a graduate student.
No,
yes.
I don't mean in real. I don't mean you're. I don't mean that.
Right, but you know
that.
I
don't mean that. I mean. You're a student. You're taking notes here as we're talking.
Certain. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And we've talked about that on previous
real life.
But on previous episodes, you've acknowledged how you're a student.
Yes, completely. Yeah. I'm doling out the info here today. Right. So we're very intentional with today's episode. So I don't want you to think we're going to get off the rails. Well, we could always get off the rails. That's
correct.
That's always possible. But today we're talking about 5 unmistakable traits of business owners who grow their business every year. Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
Because we have a growth show.
Yes.
So we want to talk about that. But, the interesting thing is, traits, of course, are behaviors, are things that are commonplace in a person. Whether you have traits of being early or you have traits of talking loud or, there are all these different traits. And, there's an argument as to, of course, which one of the, what things can be acquired, what skills can be acquired versus your nature to do things, right? What you can truly get better at versus not, Like, do you ever think, you're a person who's generally early everywhere as I know you.
Yes.
Right? Like, do you think you could train yourself to be late? Or would you get like my wife?
I think I get anxious about
if we're running late.
Yes, I'm like exactly like her.
Okay,
I would be like your wife. Yes, in that sense of I would get panicky or nervous.
Now I'm kind of the party don't start till I get there kind of guy.
Well, yes, we wait for you because the party does start when you arrive, whether it's the podcast or your show or whatever. Yes, correct.
I don't know if I want that. That's not good leadership. I don't know if I should say that. I don't. We retract. We'd like to when you do an email. I'd like to recall. Can we recall something from the show? I'd like to recall that statement that the party didn't start till I get there. But like that would be difficult for you.
It would be a challenge for sure. Retraining that trait,
you do
that
get
behavior.
Worried if you feel like you're going to be late.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time is important.
Yeah, because where do you think you got that trait from?
That's a really good question. Probably some sort of consequence of being late in the past. Just helped shape me as an adult too.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, because a lot of people get those habits. So I'm going to say, when I say I can run late,
yes.
That's probably because my mother was late.
But
is late.
You're not.
Can I still blame her in my 40s?
I'm not getting involved in that one at all.
Can you? I mean, at what point can I no longer lay this off?
Right.
on her. How much stuff, folks, can we blame our parents for? Really,
we certainly try a lot doing that growing up.
Yeah.
Young adults more so. Maybe by this point we stop.
Right. Is that you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what traits, I mean, I asked the viewers, what traits I wonder what traits do they have that they'd like to change. There's probably some habits and some things. People start that whole process of New Year's. Are you a New Year's resolution person?
I used to be, but it was the same one every year. Exercise more, lose weight. So finally it just
stuck. Because if you lose, Because if you lose any more weight, we're gonna need to.
You go like blow,
right? Exactly.
Fall out the chair,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. No grown man supposed to be 125 pounds, Kerry. I'm just saying. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So we're talking about traits. We're talking about 5 unmistakable traits, and ultimately, where do these come from? Well, from my work over the past 20 years, I've had the opportunity, obviously, to work with a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, small business owners, and large businesses who still fall under the technical category of business owners. Like I worked with a lot of car dealers for a large part of my career. So they would qualify as small businesses in terms of employee count, things of that nature. But of course, someone who has 5-6 dealerships, employs 100 people, that, selling vehicles, high revenue. There's a lot of revenue, parts, service, all those things. So you're working with really, a lot of cases, highly educated people who have a lot of responsibility. So you have that level, the multi-millionaire level.
Right.
And then you have, what is the guy's got a storefront that's, working every day and making a few $100,000 a year for his business, taking care of their families. What are some of those traits? And there's still consistency, not constricted by revenue, but more by attitude. So that's what we want to get into today and kind of share that in really that formal sense, because as they say, right, success leaves clues.
Yes, it does.
Right, you've heard that one,
It leaves a trail.
Yeah, success leaves clues, and everyone loves growth.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite words is action oriented. So I love, we in our coaching program, action oriented individuals, because there's nothing worse than pouring into somebody, giving them some skills, some tactics, some techniques, some strategies, and then
they do nothing with it.
Yeah, then they come back next week, and I'm like, hey, how did that go? Oh yeah, what had happened was, something had happened, and I remember a client. Maybe she'll listen. Maybe she listens. But I remember a client. She's not a client anymore. But I remember someone who's in our program, and man, she could not get out of her own way. And we would come up with these strategies.
Right.
We'd come up with these strategies. Very clear path, A, B, C. 5 pillars of growth. Right. We want to identify. We want to
isolate, attack.
Identify, isolate, and attack. Right. And we have this great strategy. Get off our coaching session. Get off our strategy session. And yes, like home run. She's going to do it. Come back to the thing, and then it's like, oh, well, I had gotten behind. Something came up. I missed my yoga class, and it threw off my day. I don't know what it was, but it was always some excuse. Because I have to be honest, I promise I wasn't going to get on a rant. We're going to get into these 5.
Yes.
But some people like to just be busy.
And not productive.
And not, yeah. For the sake of saying,
I was busy.
I was busy. Yeah. I've got so much going on. There's so much, so many things going on. So much going on.
Yeah.
Right. And when you go, okay, great. What's the outcome of this? then they really didn't get much done. But it felt like they're exhausted.
Yeah.
They felt like it. Mm-hmm. One of the things I talk about in one of the trainings that we do is I talk about pretend like you're being filmed.
Oh, I like this.
Right? How would you act? How productive would you be? What actions would you take if you were being filmed?
Right.
If people saw how your day went.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys, I work with you guys every day. You know I'll blow in. We're boom, 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 moving next. I walk with purpose.
Yes.
Down the hall.
Right.
We've got our studio here.
Mm-hmm.
For those, we've got our studio, and then down the hall, around the corner, we've got our operations office. Where our team is also, but it's walking with purpose, just trying to get things done. On to the next thing, right? Agenda,
Yes.
boom,
agenda,
boom, boom,
agenda,
boom, boom.
agenda,
Yeah.
calendar, schedule.
So
action.
So, and at the end of the day, I have no problem sleeping
That's good
because I am tired when the day
That's
is over.
healthy, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have
Like,
no
that's a
problem
healthy
sleeping,
thing.
and I want to sleep through the night. I want
Yeah,
to
right.
be a rock.
Good.
I'm not the one who snores in the relationship, though. Just want to say, but we're both tired. Let's put it that
Right,
way.
I
Okay,
understand, yes.
we're both tired because we're trying to be productive. Now, I'm not beyond reproach. There are days when I look at the clock and I go, "What did I get done?" And I can't really. So I'm not a productivity machine, but
But that does happen
of
occasionally
course,
to
of course.
everybody.
Right? But as a general rule, it's important to be action oriented.
Yes.
Right. I'll see you over there.
Right.
For our viewers,
Oh, boy, here we go.
For our listeners and
I know
viewers
this is
that don't know,
coming.
William knows he's already chuckling. I can see the top of his head over the monitors. He's already chuckling. Kerry is the loudest typer. Fun fact about Kerry: this is in the Guinness Book of World Records, actually, allegedly, or it should be. Kerry James is world's loudest typer on the planet Earth and Mars, Pluto, Uranus.
The only thing you don't hear coming out of that keyboard is the ding after each line that I get through.
Oh yeah,
Like
that
the
was
classic.
a typewriter.
Yeah, it'd be
it'd be
ding,
super loud.
ding,
but you have the yeah. If you want to, and this is a shout out. This could be a potential sponsor for us. If you produce keyboards for a living and you want. Instead of using the machines to pressure test your keyboards, send them to our office. The Kerry James will run them through the gauntlet.
I'll add this one last thing. I think one time I was hammering away over there on the keyboard, and you looked up and you said, "What are you doing? Sending Morse code?"
Yeah, it was. It was. It sounded like Morse
What
code.
are you on the Titanic?
Yeah. I think that was the early experience of
It was a
observing
weekend,
you.
right,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So we have a open office concept, as they call it. So we work together and see each other, and I can just look over the bow at Sir Kerry James, and listen to him jackhammer away on that keyboard. It is a sight to be seen. All right, so 5 unmistakable traits of business owners who grow their business every year. Kerry, what's number 1? Let's talk about number 1. No particular order, but what's number 1?
Refined sales funnel.
A refined sales funnel. So, and there's a big misconception in the business community, I think, when it comes to the word, sales funnel.
Okay.
People think of it as salesy or, like something that is just, obviously the term funnel was made popular by the company ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson and these marketers. But what people don't understand is every business, that you don't have to be using a software
Right.
like ClickFunnels,
Yeah.
but every business must have a solid funnel to grow sales, period.
Regardless of what service product.
Right, it doesn't matter.
It's applicable to.
Right.
Right.
If you have a lawn care business, you need a sales funnel.
Yes.
You need the definition from a sales funnel perspective is a clear path that you take people down to purchase, that ends up purchasing your product services, right? The steps that they go through. They hit your website. Where do you send them next? What is the next thing
Right.
that's supposed to happen? Do you provide them free information? Do you provide them? We provide a ton of content on growwithcory.com, 100% free.
Yes.
If someone wants to work with us, We provide options for them to do that.
Right.
But, our focus, I mean, it's no secret. Our focus is to bring you so much value for free that it's a no-brainer to want to do business with us.
Right.
Whether that's coming to a workshop, whether that's doing a thought leadership interview, whether that's joining our coaching program. I want you to have value. I'm providing you these 5 things here today, 100% free, so you ultimately continue to understand how we think as an organization, how I think as a strategy guy, how I think as a coach. And if that resonates with you, you connect. So that's my funnel. This is part of our funnel right here.
And that's all part of the customer journey.
That's right. That's 100% right. So an unrefined sales funnel ultimately really limits the business and your revenue because you're going to have insufficient client attraction in that situation. You're going to have insufficient follow-up. You know how many business owners, you send a lead into a business, they won't follow up? I've told you about the painter.
Yeah.
That said up front, hey, we're not doing any follow-up.
Exactly.
So you're missing sales because not everyone makes a purchase decision the first time they see it.
Of course.
Right? That's why in sales we have closing percentages or ratios. Right?
Right.
Now, I mean, back in the day, Kerry is a man of mystery and has worn many hats.
Boy, here we go.
No, not here we go. But so here, where am I going? Aflac.
I knew you.
Aflac.
No,
so
it's
for a period of time, you sold Aflac,
but it
right?
did give me a great appreciation for things like the sales funnel, for instance. I got to understand what that is.
Right, but you had quotas and
ratios.
Right, you had closing ratios.
Yes.
So the people who did you have people that you went to see? You were going in person to businesses.
Yes.
Yep. Did you have people that you went to see that you proposed Aflac services to that did not buy while you were there?
Right.
But called you later and said we'd like to do something.
Not always. The pushback I would receive would be, oh, well, let me go home and talk to my spouse about it.
Right, but my point is, did you have people who didn't buy on the first call that did buy later?
Eventually, yes.
Right, that you followed up with.
That I'd follow up with.
Sent some emails to, sent some pamphlets.
As long as I stayed followed
sent
up.
a doc. You sent a doc that said Aflac on it. You sent a duck, right? That's branding, folks.
But unlike the painter who said we don't do follow-ups, like we did. We
of course,
did
because an organization the size of Aflac understands refined sales funnel and having that and having that refined funnel. Yeah, because and what goes into that, right? What goes into that? Well, a refined sales funnel is always going to have clear talking points, right? So you're going to want to be clear about the business. You're going to want to have a conversion focused website. If you go to yourexpertiseonvideo.com, which is our website for Thought Leadership Studios, which is our expert interview. So if anybody that wants to build their authority, raise their credibility in the marketplace, come right here actually to our studio and right here in this format and have professional interviews done. That website is structured as structured to move people through a process, to learn more about our products and services, to
schedule,
right? To what they can schedule to talk to a member of our team, right? That's all part of the funnel. That's not built on any fancy software. It's a WordPress website. So my point is, people. So when you go funnel, they think it's got to be whatever, but that process is you're going to go there, you're going to look at the information. Hopefully, we do a good job of explaining what we do and helping you make the understanding, come to the understanding it's a good fit for you. We give you that next step, which is to talk to a member of our team. Right? To walk you through the investment, the process, how it works, everything's going to happen.
There's a process. Exactly.
Right, correct.
That's an important word.
Right. It walks you through everything that's going to happen, what our process is. And that's the other thing. People lack patience when you don't communicate next steps. That's good. I want you to say that is not in the notes, but that is a note. Because Kerry, this is good this is beautiful that you take notes, because we can put together a book of notes, right? My next book, based on things I said on the Grow podcast, right? Thoughts, musings, and commentary, as recorded by Kerry James. but not communicating, that's where people don't know what's going on, right? I placed an order for something. You don't send me an email telling me about the timeline. What are my expectations? I don't know. So now I worry. I have concern. That could stop a purchase completely. But it also, right? Because that's what we want to know. Oh, all right. I was on Amazon the other day, like most of us at some point. and I went to order something. I looked at the date that I was going to take to get here, and it wasn't 1 day or 2 day like they normally do. It was like, oh, we'll see you. It was like 10 days. So I just moved on.
Right.
And I'm going to go buy something else that could get here in a day. Now,
Right.
I'm not penalizing. I don't know what the logistics, but my point being that helped. What would have irritated me is I would have placed the order
And then nothing.
and then been told it was going to be 10 days.
Yeah,
right?
right.
So, I mean, transparency can help you. Transparency can create less than optimal situations. So, of course, I didn't make that purchase at that time. But I have a lot of respect for knowing and having the information. And I think that is key and important, to this whole thing.
You also, it sounds like, appreciate being communicated to along the way of the process. Like, in other words, hey, your order is going to be delayed by a day, or hey, just wanted to reach out and let you know your product's been ordered. It's going to come into our warehouse, and so forth.
Yeah, 100%. So you got to have clear talking points about the business. Mm-hmm. We've got to have a conversion-focused website. You want to have some form of a lead generator. So on our website, we have a free training. I mean, we have a ton of free content, but in particular, we have a free training series.
Yeah.
So in that world, so that's a lead generator, right? People who watch that, we want to follow up. We want to connect with them. I want to learn more. If you're at growwithcory.com and you're joining our newsletter, you're coming through our site, most likely you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, or you're an entrepreneur.
Solopreneur.
Yeah. So I don't generally have people who have no interest in business, hate the idea of being entrepreneurs, want nothing to do with entrepreneurship. They don't generally come to the site and consume the content. So I want to have a lead generator so I can have a continued conversation. Mm-hmm. And then I want campaigns to nurture and facilitate. So many small businesses will make you a customer. Mm-hmm. You'll do business with them, and then they never talk to you again. Anybody who's followed me for any length of time knows I have talked many times about the carpet cleaner that we used to work with. Now, we don't have all of our house upstairs and downstairs based on my wife's demands are all hardwood floors. But in our previous residence where we had carpet, because it was already, I guess, put down.
Sure.
So weren't ripping it up.
Right.
So it already had carpet. We worked with a carpet cleaner. Nice man, local. He was one of the first people doing eco-friendly. So while the other guys, the big name franchises were still using chemicals and the standard cleaning stuff, he was one of the first people doing eco-friendly, non-toxic things to clean the carpet. Nice guy, one truck. Mom and pop, him and his wife. He was the brawn, and she was the back end of things. But he would only talk to you when you needed him.
I get you.
If great, the dog. We've always had dogs. Oh, the dog, we got an accident. Dog peed all over the carpet. And you run to the grocery store, try to rent that machine. That machine isn't very good. It's been beat to death. So so great. We call him up. He's there. Oh, okay. I'll be there Wednesday. No problem. Nice guy. Does a great job. No control. No database. No control of his database. No, not keeping track. I said to him, hey, how often should somebody have their carpets cleaned?
Yeah.
He said, well, at least twice a year, but really 4 times, particularly if you have high traffic areas.
Right.
So if you have children, you have pets,
Yeah.
4 times a year, which is basically once a quarter.
Yep.
Or at a minimum twice a year.
Okay.
So I say, why don't you have programs that allow me to prepay?
That's a great idea.
Commit for a discount.
Yeah.
Right? Because guess what problem he constantly has? Keeping the schedule full, cash flow.
Yep.
These are all the issues that small businesses have, right? So he could solve cash flow by going to, because he does a great job.
Yes.
His customers love him, which is great. But see, the problem with that is that's not enough. You have brands that people love that still go bankrupt because they don't sell enough, because they don't market well enough, because
they don't retain
the
big picture,
Yeah,
and
they don't retain. Yeah. So he can solve that problem, by having a CRM and a database, which he didn't have. Right. And folks, I'm sorry, somebody will make a comment. QuickBooks is not a CRM.
manager?
Do your
No.
invoices. Now they've got a customer section. They've got some other things. So I mean, inevitably, I'll get some micro comment about this. But QuickBooks is not a CRM.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is simple. He has a CRM, puts his customers in it, keeps his records in there,
Yes.
processes his payments. You can save customers' credit cards. You can do all these things, right? And you can follow up. You can set triggers. You can set alerts.
Yes. Right.
People used to be so impressed. They go, "Oh my goodness, Corey, I can't believe." And our clients even today, "Oh man, you remember my birthday?" Oh yes, I did personally in my brain. I remember.
I didn't even need to write it down.
Right, I remember all of our clients. I remember.
didn't.
I remember 40 clients, coaching clients. I remember
Yes.
45 people's names and birthdays in my head. Right? Of course I don't. Of course we look, but it only takes a little step to load that up. It's the thought. It's the action that counts.
The follow up, the touch, the communication.
I remember when I was doing training when we had our automotive company, and I remember a guy, he quit. He retired. I said he quit/retired because he said he refused to call customers on their birthday and after they came in for service. So every time a customer comes to service, we wanted salespeople to call. The system will tell you that your customer, Kerry James just in for an oil change.
Yeah.
So it would flag it. We want you to call. Hey, it's Cory from the dealership. I saw you went for an oil change. Just want to make sure everything was okay. How's it going with the vehicle?
Right,
How's your family?
Perfect.
I'm not doing that. I quit. I'm retiring from this business.
And how hard was it to do that?
Well, all I say is that, and what I said to the owner was, "Thank God."
Yeah, right. Sure.
Let's get
the
him
bad
out the
apple
way.
out.
Yeah,
right.
let's get him out the way. Because that's certainly not going to help grow. I'm about growth. People call me in for growth. They don't call me in because they want to kill their business. They call me because they want to grow it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so you've got to do things that you're not doing right now. People say, "Oh, I tell people I'm in the change business. I'm fundamentally asking someone to do something different tomorrow than they did yesterday."
Yes.
Point blank.
Right.
Yeah, we've got the 5 pillars, but the 5 pillars are change.
Yeah,
The
that's
5 pillars are is a process and a path on how to execute change. Right? All right, Lord have mercy. We're only on 1 pillar. Okay. Well, thankfully we don't have no one's cutting to the Geico commercial.
Can we
on
just
us.
say the lesson learned from that, as you articulated, Cory, was people lack patience when you don't communicate the next steps.
I think that's one thing. The
that's
rule is though,
important takeaway.
Everyone needs a funnel is the rule. Everyone needs a sales funnel. Even if you don't like the word funnel, replace it with process, and it needs to be refined. And you probably need to go back and look at it, particularly if you've been in business for a number of years. And I work with someone that says, "Oh, Cory, I've been in business 18 years. Now we're stuck, we're stalled, we're stagnant. We need to go to the next level." But we've been around 18 years, so we've got good customers, we have a good reputation, we have these different things. But what that also tells me is they probably haven't looked at their processes, particularly like a funnel. You know how many people, haven't touched their website in 10 years? Now, I'll get the argument, "Oh, well, Cory, we do plenty of business without having to update our website." No worries. Hope that lasts another 18 years. Hope no one gets in the game and disrupts it.
Yes, right.
Right?
Sure.
Ask all these people that are crying, that are lobbying now to have policies put in place so different things don't happen. They're coming for the Airbnbs. They're coming for all those. They're coming for the Toros, all those entities now because, people are losing business. The institutional companies are losing business in that area. So, and I just read this literally yesterday about a local business that was out of business now, a restaurant. I literally read it yesterday. This couldn't be sooner. And I was not surprised. And the reason why I was not surprised is because I visited that business 3 years ago.
Okay.
When it first opened. Because I want to patronize local businesses.
Sure, of course.
I like to see, new concept, new restaurant, new place to eat. And one of the most striking things was how complicated the menu and ordering process was. They had this sheet and the pencil, and you had to fill it out and mark this out if you wanted this, mark this if you want that, mark this over here, cross this out. Do you want this? Add a protein, remove a protein, change this. And I just remember going, there's no way I'm going through this again.
Right.
Way too complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, Chipotle, you get in line, you go down the thing, chicken bowl, beef bowl, barbacoa, this, little guac, you're out.
You're out.
Sometimes that annoys me because the woman's at the register trying to get me to pay before I've even added my cheese. I know I'm not the only person. Sometimes they're moving so fast. You're telling me you never been in one of those express line type modes, and they're already talking about some 12.15, and I haven't even asked for extra pico yet. That pisses me off because it's like, can you? I saw a TikTok.
What?
William, have I sent you this TikTok? They know I love to send them TikToks. Did I send you a TikTok where the woman's camera in the grocery, she works at the convenience store, and so she films everybody, different people that come in, and so she's like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And then the guy's like, "F you," and all these different things, and then one of the guys comes up and he's got whatever he's got. She's like, "Okay, is that all?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what? No, let me take one of these." She's like, "Is that all?" And it's like, let me grab a lighter. Is that all? And then he loses it.
Yeah.
He's like, is that all? Is that all? Is that all? Is that all? I mean, and then he starts cursing, explicit language. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Why can I get a minute to make up my mind here? Like it was overboard, right?
Right.
So you're trying to be so efficient.
Yeah.
You piss people off
right.
also, right? So, but the restaurant went out and I read that they closed the location. And here's how I know that it wasn't. Whenever you hear an abrupt closure,
Yes.
with a sign on the door,
Right.
like employees trying to get in, you know that went bad.
And it went bad a while ago.
Right, it was going bad.
Yeah,
it was going
it
bad
was
4 years.
tanking months.
It was going bad 3 years ago when I
Yes,
came to the place.
exactly. That's
I said,
my point.
This place
Yep.
will not survive. Now they might have had enough cash reserves
To stretch it. And
they had a couple
extend,
other
but-
locations, so
but
you could do a
their
little.
problems went deeper
Right.
than the day the door closed.
You could do a little Peter to pay Paul or whatever.
Yeah.
But like just that complicated process told me exactly what I was dealing with here.
Yeah.
And that's just somebody not paying. Oh, we want to give our customers options. Yeah, let me know how that worked out. All right, number two. Number two of 5 unmistakable traits of people who grow their business every year. They market clearly to the ideal audience.
Know your audience.
Right. You're probably never going to hear us do a podcast where we're talking about what it's like to work this second shift at Subway.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's not our audience.
No.
That's not who we're talking to.
Right.
Right? I don't have an experience doing that either. But that's not our audience.
No, we don't target to
Right.
that.
Right.
demographic.
We're not going to do an
Right.
episode on lumberjacking
No.
or forestry.
Right.
Now, I have a good friend, Tom Davidson. He is an expert in forestry.
Okay.
And that's what he does. He speaks to forestry organizations all over the country, all over the globe, I guess internationally. But that's his expertise.
Yeah. And he speaks to an audience that appreciates that.
Right, correct, because he's knowledgeable in that space. So, so I say that to say people love to try to serve everybody because they're afraid of excluding people
Sure.
because they think they will lose revenue. So they will market broadly. They will market broadly, and you have to break free from attempting to serve everyone. Right? You can't, entry level and premium. Oh, Cory, we've got a $50 thing and we've got a $50,000 thing. Right? It's very difficult to thread that needle successfully. One, from a budgetary standpoint, to try to market to everybody, right?
Right. Yes, of course.
I mean, I'd be stunned if Arby's does a commercial to vegans. Right now, can I go into Arby's right now and get a salad?
Yes, of course.
Can I get some vegan items?
Probably.
Sure. But I'd be stunned if they have Ving Rhames one day going, Arby's, we have the veggies.
That would be hilarious.
Right? They know their audience. They're slanging them roast beef sandwiches by the ton, right? I mean, they know their audience, right? So they've leaned into that also. So they're not Arby's. We've got something for everybody.
And when a product or service evolves, so does the audience.
Right.
And you have to adapt to that. But keep targeting your audience. Don't go broad. Don't throw the wide net.
Right. Right. Being specific is a very actionable way.
Yes.
Right. To hone in on that audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like I go into certain retail stores and there are brands that clearly have no interest in making clothes for me. They're sending me a message, Cory, you need to get smaller because we're not going to make the clothes bigger. Right. And there are brands I like. Ted Baker. That's a brand that I like. It's a British brand. Okay. Ted Baker. I like the colors. I like how they look. No chance. I mean, I'm 50 pounds away from wearing Ted Baker. Okay. So I can rate Ted Baker a nasty gram. You're discriminating against thick-boned individuals. There was a term I should have wrote it down that I saw the other day that that is a nice term for big or fat or overweight. I'm trying to remember what
you got to
be
so delicate.
It was very. But that's the deal. I want to wear Ted Baker. Okay, then I'm going to need to shrink down because they're not going to come up to meet me. Yeah. They're clear on who their audience. They're clear on who their target audience is. They're targeting Kerry James.
And it works for them. They are a successful organization.
Spending that money. You're not spending that kind of money on a shirt, but you'd probably like it.
Yeah,
William's scanning through some Ted Baker right now. I love Ted Baker. Oh, we got a stat that popped in. This was about funnel, but I missed it, but it's here now. According to Salesforce, the large CRM organization. Oh, a CRM. A full 68% of companies have not identified or attempted to measure a sales funnel. And the same survey showed that a whopping 79% of marketing leads are never converted into sales.
Gosh.
That's scary. That's scary.
But not that surprising.
Yeah, not surprising, but scary. Yeah. Well, that's why we exist, right?
Yeah.
So, yes. I smell opportunity, Kerry James. What about you?
That's what that aroma is.
Yes. Opportunity in the air. Yes, I love it. But what's important about that is people have to want to take advantage of the opportunity. How many psychiatrists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
You never heard that one before?
No, what is it?
Only one. But the light bulb must first want to change. Right? You got to have the desire. All right, number 3, trait number 3. A continuous investment in developing their team.
Right. And that can be many things. It can be training, it can be marketing sources, it can be techniques, but it's that care to invest in your team. And that's an attitude, and that's an actionable trait.
Right, it's an action item. Yeah. That concept, the concept of continuous learning, the Japanese call it Kaizen.
Oh, cool.
Continuous learning inside a high growth company is treated as an action item. It's a must do.
Yep.
I mean, listen, let's apply it. Right now,
yes.
Be honest, not just because I'm putting you on the spot.
What's that?
You're learning something inside our organization. You're working on something. We're not needing to get into details, but you're learning something right now.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I don't even say what it is.
Yeah.
But this has happened multiple times since I've worked with you.
Continuous learning.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
William, you're learning things every day. Hit the button. Go ahead. Hit the button. Yeah, hit the button. I barely heard it. You got to let it go. You got to let it give its full. Yeah, right. Exactly. Everybody, and it might as well. It should be in my handbook. If you're going to work for my organization, you're going to have to learn some things you don't know coming in.
We hope that should be the goal of an employee too,
right.
to want to go to work for an organization where that's part of the system.
That's right. Sales techniques, marketing sources, artificial intelligence, AI. These are just some of the business areas, of course, that continue to rapidly evolve. And these changes, right, ultimately make it a business owner's responsibility to commit to staying at the front of the learning curve. They have to make that a priority. And also when your people see that, that creates that stickiness, you know? I talk about the proverbial, will your team run out in the middle of traffic for you?
Yeah.
Now I don't expect you to die for me, but That's what you want.
But providing us with opportunities to learn.
Right.
Motivates us
And
a lot
develops people
more
to
and
make them
develops
wanna-
us and brings more value to the organization. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes them
I
want to go the extra
love that
mile.
one. Yeah.
Right? They want to go the extra mile. No one's getting stagnant, stuck, or stalled here. All right, number 4. We're at the back end now. We're at the back 9. We're in the back 9, as they say. Number 4. What's number 4, Kerry?
Executes a simplify to multiply strategy, which, by the way, Corey, I've heard you say simplify to multiply many times. So I was glad when I was doing some prep here today. I was like, that's you. That's it.
This is one of the
said
days where
this
Kerry
many
knows the
times.
topic. Sometimes she doesn't know what we're talking
Right.
about. Yeah, execute a simplify to multiply strategy. Many times the best growth strategies are actually counterintuitive. So what we know is profitable business owners always aim to look for simplification opportunities. And most people don't think of it that way. They think growth is adding things. But there's so much power in subtraction.
Yep.
There's so much power in simplifying.
I was looking at a case study just yesterday, and this consultant team came in, working with a guy, and said, well, you're doing all these extra tasks. We could put this very affordable automation program in place, and that's going to free you up to do other things. You could probably cut a couple of these positions and save a lot of money and grow your business at the same time. I thought
Bingo.
that was pretty valuable.
Bingo.
Simplify.
You can't see the picture when you're in the frame sometimes. So that's why, that's why we do what we do. That's why we do what we do with the coaching programs, why we do what we do with our weekend workshops, where we have this opportunity to really allow you to step out of not only your comfort zone, but just step out and look at a different view. Look at a different viewpoint on a situation. Because it's that simplification that creates amplification. Right? Because you're all I talked to a guy the other day. Oh, I'm an insurance broker, but I've got this retail front, and I've got a partner in this, and a partner in that, and a partner in this. And I'm like, dude, you must be exhausted. I'm exhausted. Just hearing you tell me all these things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So looking for ways, they're always looking for ways to simplify a process, simplify. We do it now with how we view content and production of content, looking for ways to simplify so we can actually get more. We're producing more content now, doing less.
Yes. Right.
Than running around trying to produce content, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're just applying that because we identify, we isolate, and we attack.
And attack, right.
Right? So
That strategy's been put into place.
Yeah.
Do we want to hit a stat?
What's that?
Do we want to hit a statistic here that our good friend William has presented
let's do
for
it.
us?
Let me hear it.
So 94% of employees would stick with an organization longer if they invested in their training. Of course, you're getting free education.
Sounds like a no-brainer, yet people don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to get? Listen, I come from the auto industry. Do you know what it took? We were doing at one point 37 workshops a year all across the country.
Yeah.
Going to town, one-day workshops, educating on sales and marketing practices, digital marketing practices. Do you know the effort to sell those workshops? Like what was involved to convince dealers that their people needed this education?
There shouldn't have been any effort.
And these weren't people who were doing it right, because this was also the time when,
such a no-brainer.
This was also a time when people didn't know what they were doing.
Okay.
Like we were in this, I was in this space in 2003, 2004, 2005. People didn't know what they were doing on the internet.
Yeah, right.
There was none of this. This
yeah.
wasn't even possible back then.
True. Yeah, gotcha.
And we were doing that. So it was, a major task. And we were delivering so much value. And I'm not just saying because we were great, but my team, we had experts from all across the country, sponsored extra speakers coming that would come. And there'd be 5-6 speakers that day that would just pour into you. So it was tremendously valuable. Yet
you couldn't convince the.
Yeah, what we did. We were successful at the workshops, but it was like pulling teeth.
Right.
Yeah, it should have been a no-brainer. This should have been standing room only. We're sold out. Not, would you please come? We're going to give you half price if you bring 2 people. Right? It was crazy. So this whole idea of training and the impact, right? The stat makes complete sense, but people don't execute on it. If they do self-education, if you're in real estate, Your broker, majority of them, shout out to the quality brokers that invest in training, but a lot of those brokers, you're on your own. You want to go to a workshop, you want to get better at selling homes, you want to get better at this. You're doing that yourself.
And some of these organizations are just resistant to any sort of new education or new technology because that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that, our tradition is get rid of your tradition.
Right.
You got to free that one up.
Peter Drucker said, famed management guru Peter Drucker said that for an organization to survive in the future, it must be prepared to abandon everything they do today.
Exactly.
Now, that's scary for a lot of people.
It is, but it makes perfect sense.
It's on point.
And I understand, like some organizations, it is a little hard to resist, hard to adapt to change. I get that. But how else are you going to evolve?
Yeah. All right. Number 5. Before we get out of here, we can get out of here. Number 5. I hope you've been enjoying this. We wanted to make it get real tangible here. Trait number 5, final trait that we're sharing today of the 5 unmistakable traits that business owners use to grow their business every year. Number 5. What's number 5, Kerry?
Decisive decision making, and it reminds me of something else I hear you say.
Say that again, though.
Decisive decision making.
Say that in that deep Kerry voice.
Decisive decision making.
That's the scary Kerry voice. We don't want that. Decisive, not just decision making. Decisive decision making. What were you going to say?
I was going to say if you don't exercise that behavior, that trait, then it's paralysis by analysis, and I've heard you say that many times.
High growth business owners are decisive decision makers, point blank.
Right.
They look at an issue, determine the best course of action, and then they execute.
Which is the whole thing about identify, isolate, attack.
Yeah.
And they do it quickly with alacrity.
We'll be in a meeting. You can attest to this. We'll hold a meeting.
Yes.
Where we need to work through something. Everybody gets a chance to be heard on it.
Right.
We leave that meeting 90% of the time with an action.
Oh, for certain. We just did it yesterday.
Sometimes we move so fast. These mugs, we'll see. Nobody will catch this. Nobody will catch this. But this mug will eventually, the next version of this will be green. We moved so fast when we were putting this together that we had already had cups ordered and things ordered already. Then we said, you know what? I like green in the grow.
Yeah.
But we made a decision. We're going to do it. We're going to have mugs for the table. And it's traits, right? So, yes, we're talking about mugs. But that could be a marketing plan.
Right.
That could be hiring someone or firing someone inside your organization. Investing in a product or service, investing in a training, we talk to people who apply for our coaching program. They have to go through an application process. And then they if they get approved, then I'll talk to them to determine if they're a good fit. But when they go, part of the reason why we do that is because we only want, action oriented. That's burn that in your head.
Right.
We only want action oriented entrepreneurs because what we used to do was, we used to, get on a call and talk to them about the process and talk about the program, and they would have all the problems that match to what we work to solve in the accelerator program. But then it would be, let me think about it, and let me talk to this person, that person, and let me do all these things, and indecision. And a lot of times that was just so they can get off the phone. Right? They were uncomfortable at that point.
Okay, sure.
They weren't decisive people. They didn't make decisions.
Yep.
And many of those people didn't go on to do anything. And see, Cory checks up though. So because we have a CRM, I have a database.
Yes.
I will check in on somebody that I talked to a year ago that, didn't invest in our program or didn't do business. I'll check in on them.
Yeah.
The person I talked to you about that always flim-flam, done, I check in on her. I look her up now and again.
And?
Website's still the same from 2 years ago. Sure. Nothing's really changed. LinkedIn profile, no new recommendations, no thought leadership. Nothing's really changed because her traits were indecision. Her traits were procrastination. Her traits were excuses.
Right.
So we just got to be able to flip that situation because there is no such thing as paralysis through analysis with a high growth business owner.
No.
Because they're decisive.
Yep.
You can be wrong, but sometimes making a decision and taking action is better.
Right. And doing it quickly.
Right.
As long as you have the facts and the data and the information.
Right.
But sitting on something, well, I don't know, maybe.
Being wrong is better than being indifferent.
Correct.
In many cases.
Yes.
Right? I've invested in things that didn't work out. But you know what I don't do? Second guess, what if I had invested?
Yeah.
What would have happened? Tony Robbins says people should all over themselves. Should all over themselves, right?
I was close there for that.
Yeah, I don't want to get the E. I don't have to mark this podcast
wait a
E
minute.
for explicit, right? They should all over themselves. I should do this. I should do that. I should do this. And again, nobody's perfect. Listen, we talked about Ted Baker stuff. I'd like to be 50 pounds lighter. One day I will be. It's on my priority list. It's just not high enough. You ever heard? Everybody ever told you the story about the dog on the porch?
You know what? The dog on the porch?
Yeah, dog on the porch.
Okay.
Guy goes to see his buddy. Walks up on his porch. He sees his dog over there moaning and groaning.
Yeah.
He says, "What's wrong with your dog? Why is he moaning and groaning?" He says he's laying on a nail. So the guy says, "Well, why doesn't he just get up?" He said, "It doesn't hurt bad enough." Oh, man. See, many of us right now aren't taking action in our businesses. We're not doing the things we should do. We're not making
the damage
decisive decisions
enough
because it doesn't hurt bad enough.
Right.
Yeah. Don't ruin my build-up, Kerry. I'm talking over me.
I'm sorry.
It was a build-up right there. I was hitting the crescendo.
Right.
And then coming back down because it doesn't hurt bad enough. What actions are you not taking right now because it doesn't hurt bad enough? It hurts, but it doesn't hurt bad enough. Someone once said, most people will not participate in their own rescue.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, we hit him with one right there. All right, Kerry, give us a recap. What are the 5 so we can get out of here? 5 unmistakable traits of business owners who grow their business every year, as stated by Kerry James right now.
Refined sales funnel. Markets clearly to ideal audience. We talked about that. One of the ones I hear you say around the office is simplify to multiply. So executes a simplify to multiply strategy. And decisive decision-making, the one we just talked about, and I want to go back real quick to continues to invest and develop their team. That was probably one of my favorite ones because we actually cited an example here and the value of that education in-house. So, yeah, there's your 5 traits.
There's our 5. Did you do them in order?
No, because I went back. I saved my favorite one to the end.
The order. Okay.
I saved my favorite one to the end, which is investing in your people.
All right, Kerry James, taking over. All right, we love it. Well, listen, I hope you got a lot of value out of today. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. I think these are 5 important things for you to execute on. We're very action-oriented here. I want you to be able to walk away from this, not only entertained, maybe you had a good laugh, but you heard some information that you can take action on. If you're not an action-oriented entrepreneur, start. You could start right now. You could start by taking the next step right now in your business. If you like this content, please feel free. I hope you're sharing it with like-minded colleagues, other entrepreneurs, other small business owners. We want to get this content in front of them if you view it's valuable. We want you following our social media, connecting with us, follow the podcast, comment. We want to hear what you want to hear so we can continue to bring value to you. Our value to the market increases exponentially as we deliver value back to you. Zig Ziglar said it best. Fastest way to get everything that you want is to help as many other people get what they want.
Yes.
And that's what we're focused on the Grow Business Podcast. Head over to growwithcory.com to check out all of our content 100% free. If you're interested in the products and services that we offer, you can also check those out there. We've simplified it so we can multiply.
That's right.
I'm Cory Mosley.
I'm Kerry James.
And this has been the Grow Business Podcast. We will see you next time.